Yo, guys, what's up? And welcome back to the Marvelous Chats podcast. This is episode 196. Tonight on the cast is myself, Finto, and Alex, aka Zaberwolf. We're going to be talking about the new Punisher special on Disney Plus and The Boys season 5, episode 7, and any other nerdy news in between. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment below if you're watching a replay, and if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple or any of the other podcasting apps, leave us a review. Let us know what you think. Without further ado, here we go. Yo, what's up, brother?
Hey, buddy. How you been?
How are you? I'm good, man. I'm good.
Same old, busy with work and trying to work on my health as well. So
yeah.
How about you, man?
Yeah, work's been busy. I was out meeting a new client 2 days this week so far, and they're pretty much like in the like smack middle of Dublin City. So for me, it's like I had to like drive somewhere, park my car, jump on a train into the city, and then walk. So like it was like 2 hour commute, like 2 hour commute each way. And yeah, it's just been like that on Monday and today as well. So literally got home from work today and, spent a bit of time with the family, trying to put the daughter down in time to be able to watch The Boys and watch Punisher and get ready for this. So that's why we're starting a bit later tonight. It's just these Wednesdays, man, they're killing me. They're just so busy. But yeah, look, I can't complain. It's great to have stuff to watch and stuff for us to talk about. So yeah, I won't complain. But other than that, yeah, life is good. Myself and the lady, I proposed on the weekend, and she said yes. So marriage coming down the line. We got engaged. So yeah,
congrats, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
it was our 10-year anniversary, and we went out for a really nice meal on Saturday. So I said no better time than then to pop the question. So yeah, it was good. It was good. She was shocked, gobsmacked by it. Like didn't see it coming at all, which is great. She was that's what you want. I'd hate for it to be expected, like, oh, finally, or something. So it was a nice surprise. It was fun. But yeah, exciting times ahead. Probably not going to get married for probably at least another year, but maybe another like 18 months, maybe 2 years. We'll see how it goes. No massive rush. I'd like my daughter to be a little older too, just to be involved more in the wedding and stuff,
and to have like actual memory of it, and
yeah, and like properly be involved, and be able to properly be involved in the ceremony and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
yeah, it's cool. Massive shout out to anybody who's popping into us live here. If you're checking out a replay, thank you as well. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple or any of the other places, thank you as well. We got a good bit to talk about tonight, so we're going to be obviously kicking off the show with The Punisher, the new, what do they call it? A presentation, the special presentation, I think. It's called One Last Kill, and like, yeah, in my opinion, it was not long enough. I was seeing tweets during the week saying it was only going to be like 44-minute runtime. I'm like, oh man, one episode of the old Netflix show was longer. So I kind of had a feeling I was going to go in, get a taste of goodness, and then they were going to just strip it away. What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. I think the initial setup for it was a bit shaky. I think that the actress who played like kind of the mob lady, she was okay. I think her acting was a little off, but other than that, like she did a good job of at least setting it up a little bit. But I like something about her in terms of acting, like I just couldn't believe her. Like I'm like, I don't know what it was. Like it's just like, yeah, I had a kid who got murdered, and I had another kid who got murdered. Like it felt very quick, and it didn't feel like as sentimental. And her honestly, her voice was like really flat.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me to like be interested in what she was saying. It was more so like, this is him, right? This is his doing and whatnot. And I'm like, it became super obvious. And I'm like, you could have at least like sold it a bit more.
Straight away, I knew that was what it was, and I thought the way it started, I thought she was going to be like, oh, I'm just like you, Frank, and maybe she was going to try and dupe him into like doing something for her, and then at like halfway through, going, oh, by the way, Frank, you were the one who killed my family, and then like I'm gonna. Then she puts the hit out or something. Like it was
Yeah.
just, I suppose they only had 44 minutes, so they needed to get straight into it. But I thought she might have at least tried to play it up a little bit more. But yeah, I thought it was very funny because like I kind of just said it's obviously Frank going around killing the entire family. So
Like like she really could have at least yucked it up a little bit and been like just been over dramatic for it, because I think that would have actually made it even more engaging. Like she didn't feel as like upset, in my opinion. I felt like it should have been a lot more, like it should have been more, excuse me, it should have been more like frustration. Like you should have seen her like shaking. Something that like, you know, as she's talking about it, you see her like kind of getting violent in her chair and just being like,
mm,
today you're fucking dead.
I,
Like
you
something as juicy as that would have been great.
you know the big black bodyguard guy. I was kind of
Yeah.
like that's the final boss because it was really like one of those it was really like one of those fucking like it felt like a game that you were playing, like, you know, you have to get through
Mhm.
all the levels of fighting all the guys to get to the final boss, and I was just like, yeah, this is what that feels like. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. um, I like, you know, Berthal is absolutely incredible. Like as the Punisher, like I think he's born to play the role. Like it's one of those fantastic castings by Marvel where it's like you're finding these guys who are just absolutely perfect for these roles. I know I believe he wrote and I believe produced it as well as starring in it. So you know it was very close to home for him. All the PTSD scenes and everything were absolutely incredible. Like his acting is through the roof. You know, obviously, you know, choreograph wise, like the gore and the fight scenes and all the gun action and everything like that, top tier. Like, you know, as good as ever, if not better. Um, Story was a little, obviously a little weak, but like, you know, what can they do in 44 minutes? Like, you know, like I think it was good. You know, I knew it was going to end, and I was just going to be like, fuck, I wish there was more of it. Like, give us a season of that, rather than, you know, like I don't know, like I would have nearly preferred a season of The Punisher rather than, you know, some of the Daredevil episodes. You know what I mean? Like you could
Mhm.
have tried to maybe incorporate him in and maybe try and like give us like more of like Daredevil season 2 where we had Frank and Matt working together or whatever. Like, and I know we got a bit of a tease of it in season 1, but like that story expanded into a bigger season, I think would have been great. You know, and then it obviously ends with him kind of finishing off that family for good because they're the kind of last family. Because wasn't that in the news report? They said that the Nucci's or whatever they were called, they were the last family that were suspects for killing Castle's family. So like literally, obviously the title of the presentation, One Last Kill. So it's like
Mhm.
that is literally like I thought it would have ended with him actually taking her out. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the story continues somewhere else. I kind of get the feeling like again, you know, when he's sitting at the graveyard at the end, he's like, you know, I don't think I'm done. We know he's going to be in Spider Man. That story, I don't think this story is going to continue on in that movie. I think that's it's a bit too graphic, obviously, for Spider Man. But like, I think we could potentially get a movie. Like, I'd love to see him on the like a proper Punisher film. Like, give us that, but 3 times as long. You know what I mean? Like, I think that
Mhm.
would be fantastic, and I think that'd sell tickets, in my opinion. I'd be shocked if it didn't, you know. Um, and or you could do like another like series like put it like Daredevil, like, you know, rated R series or whatever, or M for mature. I think that would be really, really good. I think that would go down well.
So this iteration, or this like one shot essentially, which I think could be a two shot in the future if they wanted
Mm,
to, because they didn't kill her, right? Like I don't recall
no,
her, no.
no,
So
they drove off to the sunset after the mayhem started. Do
yeah,
you remember when he fell off the building? And it was like some of the worst CGI I've seen in 20 years when he was falling backwards and his face looked like it looked like a cutscene from like Uncharted 3 or something. It was fucking horrendous. I had to pause it and rewind it back and watch it again. It was so bad. Like if you like look at his face, like it was so terrible. And like I think like in a scene like that, less is more. Like if they showed him falling off the back of the building, then they cut away, and then it's just him kind of lying like, "Oh God," you know, that would have
I
been
could
better
work with it.
than shown what they showed because it was just horrendous in my opinion. Um,
I think a lot of people nowadays need to stop like bitching about the CG. Like I don't give a
oh
shit
no,
anymore.
bro,
Like
no,
it's like
it was so
it's
bad.
it's got to improve somehow, dude. So you got to let some of this garbage
It's
go
going,
through in order for them to
it's
get
going
better at it.
backwards. It's going backwards, man.
There's no way
It's
it's going backwards. If it was going
it
backwards,
100% is.
we'd be if it was going backwards, we'd be back in like Hulk days where Eric Bana was like transforming and it looked garbage.
Yeah, we're nearly there. It's so bad we're nearly there.
It's moving forward. It's just a lot of the animations and effects that are being done currently are kind of hurried. They know that they could do better, but because they want to get something out, they decide to forego the delays and just go with upping this because it's running off the tail end of Born Again season 2. So they really want to like sell more of Frank Castle, the Punisher. So they want to iterate this so that they can get more of that merch going on, so that you can continue to think about the Punisher, you can continue to think about Daredevil, and Bullseye, Wilson Fisk for Kingpin. It's a cookie cutter way for them to market off these characters so that they can sell more toys, because this is the ultimate like idea, is that we just need to sell toys. But in terms of this, like they like this exposure, in my opinion, is a good thing, because then we, like people like us, can bitch and complain. And as much as I say to stop bitching and complaining, I would rather you guys just keep complaining, because I'm not going to do it. But if you guys do it, then eventually it's going to hit their ears, and they're going to be like, oh shit, we are kind of throwing in garbage. So like, let's take a step back. It is horrendous. Like, I agree with you 100%. Like, and it's, hopefully they're going to do better when it comes to the Russo brothers making the next series of movies, and essentially like hopefully carrying us into a new era, because it just doesn't feel like we're like, in terms of these movies it's going down, but in terms of like outside of this space it's going up. Like, a lot of CG effects are getting a lot better. A lot of AI generated stuff is getting a lot better. Like, even you yourself, you go onto YouTube channels where they're doing reduxes of the like Anakin and Obi-Wan fight, like from the Kenobi series, and then them like collaborating that and like making new shows and whatnot, and basically writing new stories for like a sequel trilogy rather than what's currently available, or at least like kind of upping what should have been. But when you think about it, it's like at that time it was garbage, and now people outside who should be hired are like making things way better. And you've said it yourself, like they make things so much better. You wish that they could come into the fray and essentially like help them and get them much better graphics and like effects, so that we can be like humbled by that in the sense. But like for now, I think they just need to keep crashing until like they realize that they're not going to make as much. But the kids are going to eat it, and that's the hard part. Is that as much as we wanted to appeal to our generation, it's the kids that are going to matter the most. Like, they see Spider-Man, oh look, it's Spider-Man. They don't give a shit about the CG effects. They don't give a shit about about the random ass faces that are made like as they're crashing down from a building. Like, it's so easy for them to just go, the kids won't care. But if the kids are
I was just going to say, I don't think the special effects will be that bad in Spider-Man. Like, I would be genuinely shocked if they were. And like, I don't think there should not be any kids watching this presentation. Like, definitely not. Like, it's far too gruesome and everything for children to watch. Although, if I had Disney Plus back when I was like 11 years old and this came out, I would definitely be trying to sneak and watch it late at night when my parents are asleep or whatever. But yeah, it's not really like, this one is not for kids. With that, just that scene, the rest of the show was perfect. That 2 seconds of his face hitting that fucking air conditioning unit or whatever it was that he landed on, it was just terrible. It looked like PS3 graphics. Like, I looked like I was watching a Nathan Drake cutscene in Uncharted 3 or something. It was fucking awful. But the rest of it, fantastic. I just don't think this show needed any CGI. Like, they could have done it all practically and then just had blood going everywhere. Like, you use all the CG money for that, just for like the actual fight scenes. I just don't understand it. I really don't. Like, I was talking to a dude that I work with, and he was telling me that his wife actually works in VFX, and she
Mhm.
works for like Marvel and DC and all this stuff. And I was like, holy shit, that's really cool. And he's like, yeah, yeah, like she just be like getting James Gunn and emailing her all the time and asking her to like, you know, edit this scene and do this and do that. And he was telling me some projects that she was working on like in the past, like she's worked on like Peacemaker and loads of stuff for the MCU and stuff. I was like, oh man, that's absolutely crazy. And like she's the type of person that's like working on stuff like this. And I just like, I don't know if it's just time restraints or what it is, or you know, maybe it's just one person trying to do a scene, an entire scene by themselves, and they just don't have the time to finish it properly. Like, so I feel sorry for people like her in that sense, but I just don't think that scene should have even been in the show. Like, it was like, highly unnecessary. Like, I think it was just stupid. Like, and it's getting torn apart online already. Like, I saw that scene before I even watched the thing. Like, people are just like, I cannot believe that they put this in the show. It is so fucking bad. So it's getting a lot of negative reactions already, um, which is not good. You know, like I think if they had left that a little bit out, people would have nothing to talk shit about in this show. Maybe some performances and stuff like that, but like, you know, that is what it is. Like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Because
I just think less is more sometimes. You know what I mean? And you know, doing a full practical show like this is the perfect show to do it. Like, you don't need CGI for this show. Like, maybe just for like blood splatter and stuff. That's it. Like, this show can be done practically and should have been. That's the point I'm making. I just think save all the VFX artists for where they're really needed. Like, they're going to be needed for Doomsday. They're going to be needed for Spider-Man, all that sort of stuff. Um, like Doomsday is going to be like they're saying it's projected to be the most expensive movie ever made. You know, so like they probably have hundreds of VFX artists working on this movie right now. I think they say it's going to be 700 plus million for just the budget of it. Like, they need 1.5 billion to break even. Like, so if the CGI is bad with that movie, like Marvel are fucked. Like DC, like Disney are fucked. I don't know what they're doing. You know, because like you see other shows where they can do CGI pretty good. Like, you know, I don't know what it is. I just think it's the volume of stuff that Disney are doing. They just
which
can't
do you
keep
have an
up.
example?
Of what Disney doing bad CGI.
No, of good CGI.
Off the top of my head, do. I'm trying to think of stuff that I've watched that has CGI recently. Um, leave it with me. I'll think of something. I can't think of something off the top of my head, but there is definitely better examples out there than what some of the shit that Disney's putting forward right now. 100%, 100%. Like even like looking at that, like Mortal Kombat 2, for example, that film that's coming out. Like, I think it's just hit the big screen now. Like some of the fight scenes and all in that look really cool. Like, they look pretty good, and like that's extremely CGI heavy, of course. Now, some of the stuff with Carl Urban looked pretty terrible, but you know, I don't know if it's him trying to practically do stuff and he's just slow because he's older and he's big and all. But I think like a lot of the fight scenes in that look pretty good. Same with the Street Fighter thing, like that looked pretty good too. I just don't. I think like Marvel are just skimming along, trying to do it as cheap as possible. But it looks of it, like with a lot of the stuff that we're getting lately.
I mean, that's what I was saying is like it just has to happen this way so that they can keep getting hit by it and keep
Yeah,
getting bitched at until like they decide to put their shit together.
yeah. It's just unfortunate. Like, again, I would like for them to just, you know, I don't think they need to be releasing as much stuff that they're releasing. If they need to take, you know, a couple of months longer to make something, and then that means we get a better product at the end. You know, I think there's plenty of stuff on TV. Like, I don't think we need to be having like, you know, project after project after project. Like, you know, we used to get like two Marvel movies a year and that was it. Like, you know, now we're getting shows and animated stuff and fucking you know, live action TV shows, live action movies. Like, I don't know. It just feels like it feels like it's getting spread pretty thin. That's all
Hmm.
I'm saying. And the product, the quality of the product is suffering. And the, you know, it's obviously they're focusing on quantity, not quality, which is not where you want to be.
I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's like, why do they think they need to pump out everything? Like why do they have to pump out so much so quickly? Like
I don't know.
it just seems like I get it in a world where we're we're essentially in the information era, and as time goes on, technology becomes increasingly faster and more accessible, and then we reach a point where people are just wanting things to be damn near instant. Like remember when they added Wi-Fi to planes,
Yeah, yeah.
and like There's a comedian that I used to watch, and he was saying that like they just came out with Wi-Fi. They just came out with Wi-Fi on planes. And the moment the Wi-Fi wasn't working, he said that there was someone nearby who was like, "This fucking piece of shit." It's like, dude, it just came
You
out.
ungrateful bastard.
Dude, like that's where I'm getting at. It's like like
Yeah.
chill, guys. Like
Yeah.
it's like I get it. We've had CG for the longest time, but like it just takes time and effort. But maybe they didn't have the time and effort because they're being rushed all the time because the consumer demands all of this from like the people, like, you know, the bigwigs essentially, and they're like, well, fuck, we gotta keep tossing stuff out so we can continue to make a profit. And then they don't know how to like lose money when you think about it, because they're constantly wanting to do like a positive net gain. So then like it never, there's never a negative. And so because they never get a negative, like even if it was like a 0.1% increase, like it's still not enough to them. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You're like a multi-billion-dollar company. You could totally fucking handle like nothing. But you know, again, you've stretched yourself out thin. You have all these different networks. You have all these different, like, you know, subscription services. You have all these different, you know, like, you know, parent companies, sister companies, like off brands, all this kind of shit. And so that's probably what's kind of like dragging you down, is like all these different like tiny little things that like are creating this negative. And then you have this one thing that's like, we got to make this a hit, otherwise we don't make a 3% increase compared to last year. And it's like, dude, take an L. Take an L. Like just take the hit, dude. Like sometimes Sony and Nintendo, they take a hit all the time on their console sales. You know why? Because they know that the video games are the ones that matter the most. The people actually developing games are their bread and butter. It's not the console. They just need something that runs the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, and that's also why like microtransactions became such a big thing, because like it's just not enough. Like you have this complete product, and if that's it, then that's all you get. So you have to hope to like that you just get 5 million copies sold. Like you have to hope that you're a Resident Evil 4. You have to hope that you're like a Monster Hunter. You have to hope that you're, you know, you have to hope that you're the first Last of Us game. Like you have to just be that diamond. Otherwise, it's microtransactions.
Yeah. 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 Like it's just, again, like Sony exclusives, like I feel like they don't really try and churn them out as much, because I think they really do take their time and try and put a lot of effort and care into them and release them when they're ready, you know. And same with like Rockstars with GTA 6. They probably could have released that game 2 years ago. It would have been full of bugs and not ready, but they could have just done it if they wanted, you know. But they're like,
Right.
fuck this, we're gonna take our time. It's gonna come out and it's gonna be as good as we can do it. And that's I think they, now, again, I don't know if this is just down to whatever roadmap Disney had 4 or 5 years ago when they made all these commitments. They probably committed to, because you know the way they commit to like theater schedules like years in advance. You know, like they have like the dates for like Secret Wars already, like, and Doomsday is
Mm-hmm.
not even out yet. So I presume they've probably gone like, yeah, look, we can do it this at this speed, and let's just kind of put that in writing, and we'll book out all the IMAX screens for this date, and that's the end goal. Like that's what we got to do, and it's got to be released one way or the other. So yeah, I just feel sorry for everyone that's involved, because like when the quality's not there and people are so overcritical of things now, you know, I'm guilty of it myself, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, when you look back and watch like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 or whatever, you know, when the squid guy was in it, like that was came out in like 2006, and it looked real. Like it was crazy. Like the CGI was so fucking incredible. And then you have like the next year, like Transformers 1 comes out, and you know, teams of fucking VFX artists took a month to work on each transformation of car to robot. Like, and you know, the care was put into it, the money was put into it, and the end product is like better than what they have out now. Like that's 19 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Working on that, like they were creating those movies like over 20 years ago, and the CGI was better back then than it is now. I just don't understand it. Like I just don't know how technology has leaped so far forward, but they're going backwards with the quality.
Because they're not taking time with it anymore, man.
Yeah,
Like
it's the quantity is the problem.
right.
Mm.
Because it's the painstaking like details that they make, like in Pirates of the Caribbean, when you see Davy Jones for the first time,
So
and
cool.
how like they had like dots all over. Is it Bill Nye that did that?
I think so.
I
I
think
can't
I
think of
can't remember his
yeah,
name
I
per
can't remember.
se, but essentially like they put a whole bunch of dots on his face. They like colored like certain parts of his face where like he's supposed to have the tentacles like coming out, and like where he would have like the mustache and like the beard, like the tentacle beard and whatnot.
The way it used
And
to,
if
it looked all wet and gooey, and you like would move around perfectly, and it looked real. Like it was so well done.
but at the same time he was stationary. If you notice, like a lot of the times when he's like talking, it's very stationary until he has to talk, until he has to move his face. And that's where it can get really really fucky. If you like, I don't know if you could take a look at it like now and see like what it would look like if he was moving his face. But
Yeah,
like anytime he did this, like
yeah,
stuff like that, you probably could get a few artifacts that you'll see like here and there. But
mhm,
when he's standing there and it's just still, it's the CG effects are able to just take shape and actually just sit there and like actually like make themselves look really fucking good. And then a lot of the times when you're looking at Davy Jones, you see him at night, and at night he's able to
easier to
move a
do.
lot more. It's
Yeah,
easy, yeah, absolutely. So like they still had ways to get around it.
yeah,
Even with Blue Beetle, they still had ways to get around it. Like when they had it at night, like they had his combat mostly at night, and it looked pretty damn good.
yeah,
But like the moment you see daytime, the moment you see like the Hulk from like Eric Bana's Hulk, you see him like running down the canyon, like trying to chase a fucking helicopter or something like that.
mm,
It looks pretty bad. It looks very blurry. It looks like really like weird. Um, but they try to pass it off. It's like, oh, he's just running incredibly fast, so it's like really hard to see him and whatnot. When you see like all these different movements that occur like at night, like it just makes it so much easier. Like when you watch like the Ang Lee's Hulk, like a lot of the combats at night. So like it's very much night driven when it comes to CG effects. People aren't ready for daytime because the day shows all that garbage. And but I think it needs to happen. I think we really need to get that like on screen. We need people to bitch about it. We need people to complain. As much as I don't like, as much as I think it's like too much complaining, but like it's I get it. I get it.
mhm. I think
You
BB
know,
made a good point as well. I think like back in the day as well, there was a lot more practical wardrobes and stuff like that, and I think that mixed with SFX, like VFX and SFX worked very well together. And I think now they've kind of dropped off the SFX part a lot, and it's all kind of just green screen and CGI and like people in like the green jumpsuits, and they just added all the computers later. Whereas they would have spent a lot more money and time actually building stuff, building sets, building like all the orcs and shit in Lord of the Rings. Like she's right. Like I only rewatched the original trilogy not too long ago. Like again, came out 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and they still look great because it was a lot of it was practical. And the CG
mhm.
bits still look fucking great. This time later. Same with Harry Potter. Like Harry Potter, it has its moments where it's not looking great
Oh,
25 years later.
all the
Although,
daytime shit, dude.
yeah.
Like, don't even get me started on Harry Potter. Fucking
But
like
like it
the
still
initial.
looks good for
It
what it
looks
was at the
like
time.
shit, dude. That first movie when they were barely learning how to ride their fucking brooms and Neville gets tossed around, it looks so bad because
Yeah.
it's during the day. Even the troll at night, they
Yeah,
had a lot of
the
lighting
troll.
effects.
I was gonna say the troll is the worst part of the movie.
But like they tried to do a lot of daytime stuff, but it looked like shit. But you know what? I was a kid back then and I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and obviously you were watching on VHS as well, or
VHS, I
D
didn't.
or
It was
DVD. Like
DVD by then,
I
dude. It's
didn't.
art
Yeah,
like
did it
at
come out
that.
on VHS? I don't know, but close enough.
It's in the 2000s, man. By that time, we're already dealing with DVDs and Blu-rays.
Mm,
Was it 90? Like was it 99 for Harry Potter 1?
I think it was 2000 or 2001.
Let's see, release date November 16, 2001. Yeah, by that time there's like DVDs.
The
And
first four Harry Potters got official VHS releases. I knew it. I knew it.
oh, of course,
All the
it's
way
at the
to
tail end, but
2005.
like no, but at that point,
I'm
nobody's
just.
gonna.
I was making them. I watched them on VHS. I
Oh,
did. I saw them on
oh,
VHS
oh
on a
God.
shitty CRT like old like TV like.
I'm sorry, man.
So No, it's cool because it worked then. That's when that was when it worked. It looked great.
Yeah.
It looked like
Well,
real life.
yeah, I could take my glasses off too, and it'll look fucking tastic.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, man. Like you start seeing in HD, all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Really? Never look like that?
No, I agree, but I still like I think we should be absolute leaps and bounds forward. And we're actually not. We're not that far forward now. We're going backwards. Back to my original point. Like we really are like but anyway,
I mean,
enough talk about this. Enough talk about this. We're wasting time here. Just again, I don't really have much else to say about this Punisher thing. I do want to. I kind of laugh. I want to watch
well,
it again and count how many people he just killed out in the open because I thought it was quite hilarious how he was just literally murdering like hundreds of people. I thought it was great, but at the same time, you're kind of like, what the fuck? Like, is he like wanted now for mass murder again? Like, what's going on here with Frank? It was just like you gotta obviously like my missus said, like at the very end, she's like, I hate at the end. I thought it was really cheesy where he just like kills the guy on the street, like and executes a guy just randomly in the middle of the street in the middle of the day. Like, and I was like, yeah, like I suppose in the real world, of course. But I was like, yeah, fuck that guy though. He killed that dog. He deserves to die. But it's like
right.
in the real world, you're not going to just execute somebody in the street for taking someone's hat.
So that's where the idea behind this comes from, is that it's a lawless town. It's
Yeah,
essentially a very lawless metropolitan city, based on the fact that Manuki essentially has taken over, and so that's why this doesn't make sense to you guys right now. But if you like read the comics, you would know that the like that family got massacred by Frank, and then Ma decided to like pull a hit. It's the exact same. They pulled that information the exact same way,
that's good.
and they essentially um it was this whole situation. Like I can read off of it real quick. It's like essentially the NYPD is also paid off by Manuki, and essentially like they've created their own task force, like a Punisher task force, essentially, like as similar to what they did in Daredevil. And I think that's where they got a lot of the inspiration from,
So is
because
this
they were
do you think this is happening at the same time as Daredevil, or just after? Like,
no,
are we like? Is this
it's
before?
after. It's got
After?
to be after,
Like way
because
after?
we've already seen Karen Page, and so Karen
Where
exists. So Karen's art in the episode.
in the Punisher?
Yeah,
That was it. That was he was in his mind. That wasn't really her. She wasn't
yeah,
really there.
but she existed
Oh yeah, yeah.
in
No, no, no. I mean,
like,
sorry. Like I know everything that like obviously everything that happened on Netflix has happened, and everything up until now. I just mean like right now with like say Daredevil season 2, this
yes,
this and Spider Man. Like, are they happening in release order? Because the way the
yes,
timeline can be kind of messy. Like so, like
yeah, because this is
Fisk,
a post traumatic situation that he's dealing with because of all the shit that happened in season one.
yeah, but Fisk has fallen in New York, and now this lawlessness is happening after Fisk is gone. This is the
Yeah,
question I'm asking. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
essentially.
So then what I'm most curious about after this is like again, Frank's gone on another rampage. Like this section of New York is completely lawless. Like, what's he going to be doing in Spider Man?
Killing people.
Mm.
I mean, he's like, I forgot. Has he met Spider Man yet?
No, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so because there's an entire section of when he actually encountered Spider Man as well. There's a lot of lore behind that. It's
Mm.
crazy. But
Yeah,
this Nuki family thing, it's like way later. It's way after he met Spider Man.
yeah. I just wonder how the
So
MCU are going to handle it, like timeline wise, because I know the timelines are always they've been shaky for years. Like,
well, and this is why I say stop calling it the 616 universe. Stop calling it this like the same universe as the comic verse, because that's essentially what the 616 is like just make it its own. Just you could have made this like Ultimates 3. Like you could have essentially just called it that and not had any sort of connection to 616 whatsoever. And then you can pull in 616 beings from like the other universe, like which would have been so much more stream, like it would have been so much more organic in that sense. It would have made much more sense to have it its own, be its own thing, instead of trying to make a film based on it. That's why when you see like all of these different like all these different movies that were before like Disney started making Marvel movies, in my opinion, like they were their own thing, so it was easier to like consume, and it was easier for us to like enjoy that. And yes, they were trying to recreate things that were like from like the other parts of the comics, but because they made it their own, like it makes sense. Like how like it's just interesting. Like I never thought of it to be it's like from the same universe as the 616. I just thought that they were trying to make their own iteration of a universe that is based upon, that universe. But now that they've numbered it, now that they've made it so that like it's not its own thing, it just feels kind of weird to me. I mean, it could also be like I could be completely wrong, and later on they're like, yeah, no, this actually isn't the 616 universe. This is just a universe that believes it's the 616.
I don't think
And then
this is the same universe as the comic universe. Like I know it has the same number, but I don't think it is like the same as the comic book universe.
right, then it has to say it. Like
Yeah,
it like so we
I think
like
I
because
you're the only person I've ever heard talk about this. By the way, I've never heard anybody else speak about this.
because this was originally like universe, I think like 19,999 or something like that. It used to
Yeah,
be its own universe.
yeah. And I don't know if it was just they said it was 616 because they drew an influence from the 616 comic book universe, but it's not actually 616. And I think maybe they just kind of said that to be like, yeah, this is where our main kind of influence is from. But it's, I don't know if it's like, if they made a DC movie that's based on the Rebirth universe, like, I don't think James Gunn and stuff are going to call it the DCU, the Rebirth universe or something.
To be fair, the movies are based upon the 1610 universe mixed with some 616.
Mm. So I don't know
So
why
it's
I don't know
Ultimates,
why they did it, like, but I think they've just probably did it to try and reference to people with what kind of era of the comics they're trying to mainly pull from.
right?
Is
But
my kind of guess, but again, I don't know. I
well,
have no idea.
it drew inspiration from Spider-Man Far From Home in the sense that Mysterio started naming off the universes. And so it's like, oh, this is actually universe 616.
Yeah,
And I
that
come from the
annoys me.
universe,
That annoys me
so
when I think more about it because it's like, how did he know? Like, because again, when we find out that the whole thing was just a piss take, like it was just a lie, and he was just literally spouting off bullshit, and like he had a guy writing the script, like it's like, how did that guy know it was 616? You know?
they just wanted to they were acting in the sense like that was the whole point of that movie. But then I think that people like the industry itself was like, you know what, we should probably just go forward with this and actually make a multiverse,
Mm.
which like I guess that's fair. Like, I mean, I guess if you wanted to do so, but I think it would have been much more fun for it to like not have continued from that point. I think it would have been more tongue in cheek. Um, and I don't know, it's just like it felt weird. Like it was like it was as a joke, but I think I really do think that the industry was like, you know what, let's just go forward with it and let's just make universes so that we can make incursions, and then we could let's go into Secret Wars. Let's do it because we're already doing like Infinity War. Like, we could totally mess with the universe and do all this kind of shit. It's like, dude, you haven't even established like I don't like how many heroes do we have like how many heroes did we have before Infinity War?
Like
Was it
like
less than 20?
heroes that had like actual movies and stuff, like characters that we were properly following, or you mean just in the movie universe altogether?
Just like before Infinity War, how many characters did we know that were heroes?
Like I don't know, like the six Avengers and um yeah, I don't know, like some side characters, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah,
So
not that many, like Ant-Man, Black Panther, like the Guardians, like stuff like that. Like anyone that had a movie, I would say. I don't know if
yeah,
that's what
so
you're
like
asking me.
yeah, exactly. No, you're right on the dot. So like, you have your six Avengers, you have how many people from Guardians of the Galaxy? Was it 5?
Something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't even
So
like.
like
They're not really even heroes,
yes,
are
they
they?
are. They are heroes. Don't do not do that to them.
I don't think
They
they
are
call
heroes.
themselves
They
heroes.
literally save the galaxy, dude.
I know, but they
do
don't. They
not
wouldn't
like.
call themselves heroes. Like, you know, they don't. They don't.
They're a
Like,
bunch
I
of
think maybe
assholes, and that's the whole
Peter
point. But
Quill
like
was. That's about it.
they're
Would like to.
jackasses who save the universe.
Yeah.
So like it.
I wouldn't say they think of themselves as heroes.
Avengers are jackasses too. Like they just don't. They're just like a little more humble about it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, BB. Don't do that to Rocket.
They're too modest. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like the amount of heroes that we had was so minuscule, and yet they still managed to make it work with Infinity War because they also amassed an army from like the Wakandans, and they had a few more like forces from like Rhodes, and like they had the oh my god, what's the monastery where Doctor Strange
Sanctum
came from?
Sanctorum or whatever.
The Sanctum Sanctorum is like his hub, but I'm talking about like the monastery where they go train. Kamar-Taj, yes. Yeah. So like they had those, they had the ability to like amass armies, and so we didn't have like an amass of like heroes per se. So then like once you get past that point, it's like, oh shit, we don't have any other heroes. We just killed off one. We just had another one get old, and now he's out of commission. We had another set that's going off into the fucking into the wild yonder, and they're gonna have their own shit going on. We just had one that decided to leave the planet, even though she's a human. She should probably protect the planet because they don't have anybody. They like all we have left is a disfigured Hulk. We have like new Asgardians, which like aren't even protected by Thor. Thor was out and about, during the time. Like we didn't have anybody on Earth essentially, and so they're like, so when they decided to try to make other characters, they put them in these areas where like it was just all these covert op people, and this is when I get really like frustrated. It's like, I get it. We have a ton of covert ops heroes. We have a ton of covert ops like characters. We have like Bullseye, we have Daredevil, we have not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, we have Clint, we have like Hawkeye, like essentially we have, and then they started adding more covert ops characters. They turned down the power strength of like Marvel Girl and Miss Marvel. They essentially like kept pushing down people until they were in the effect of like, oh, I can only do martial arts because that is the easiest thing to do. Because like for Marvel, it's like there's these grander schemes of different heroes that could effectively exist, and then we would have a higher count of heroes that we could work with, and we can even do like shows with like we don't have to make fun of all these different characters. We can essentially make shows and make them like actual characters that we've seen in the comics or seen in animated shows, like, and not make fun of them. Like, we shouldn't have made Mr. Immortal an old man. We shouldn't have like made She-Hulk such a like a whiny character. Like, that's not who she is, but they just wanted to make it easy for us to like, easy for the audience to go like, oh, okay, well, she's just going to power down because she doesn't want to be Hulk. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? She wants to be Hulk because that's her perfect form. That's what she believes herself is like her ultimate perfection. And you don't get that in real life. But that's the point, is like if you're in a show or in a movie, do you really want there to be like such a down to earth moment, like, or like someone who actually looks like you or acts like you? Because like I'm a big dude. I'm a heavy set guy. Like, I mean, I could probably relate to the Blob, but like, what do you like? But they don't have the Blob even. Like, I can't do that either. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's taking so long for us to get more heroes. That's all it boils down to in my head, is like, we're taking forever to construct more heroes. And when we do it in cartoons, it's a lot easier and it's a lot faster. And so when you can take those cartoons and then morph them into like a live action movie based upon what was occurring in the cartoons, that feels a little more organic in that sense. Like, and it doesn't have to be like 1-to-1, but it could be like, it could trail off of it. It could just take that source material and just make a live action of it. It's just, It's like
I
Invincible. Like when they decide to make Invincible, because you know they're gonna try to make a live action of it. Like it as long because it has the sort like the live action or like not live action animated source material and the comic material, they have no excuses to make something that's actually decent.
The only reason why they will make a live action of Invincible is because the show has been so successful. If they were just going off the comic books, I don't think, with the current climate of the box office, I don't think they would take a gamble on a new IP right now on the big screen first. And I think that's why we're not seeing new characters on the big screen, because I think it's just too much of a gamble right now. Hollywood is struggling to make money, even on good shit. Like, that fucking Project Hail Mary movie is probably going to be movie of the year, in my opinion. It is almost perfection. It is incredible. It's been out for ages. I think they re-released it because I think the word of mouth became so good. But I was watching that for the first couple of weeks. It was making no money, man. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, this shit is phenomenal. And it just wasn't making money. It had great directors, great producing, fantastic practical effects, great story, great actors. Like it ticked every single box. Soundtrack phenomenal, acting, like, all the supporting cast amazing. It literally did no wrong, in my opinion. And that was struggling to make money. And I think they re-released it, and now it's kind of starting to pick up a bit of traction now, just because they gave it a bit of a longer release. But like something like that, which should have been, like, I would say 10 years ago, that would have been $1 billion movie. You know what I mean? Easily. I think it would have been an absolute fucking smash. And now they're struggling to make money on it. And they're like extending the release to kind of try to break even. So Hollywood is panicking, bro. So like, I actually find it very interesting that like something like the Clayface movie is coming out. I think that's a bit of a gamble from DC. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It looks really cool. It's like a horror movie. I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be very different to what we've seen, like obviously out of DC so far. But I think like the fact that we're getting that, I think is crazy. Like, because I don't think that movie's going to do any performance at the box office at all. I'm going to go see it. They've got my tickets in the bag. But, I think the normies are not going to go see that film. Same with Star Wars. Like, they're predicting that like, there's a new Star Wars movie coming out in like 9 days. It's the first time Star Wars has been on the big screen since 2019. And they're projecting that it's going to do less money than the biggest flop in Star Wars history, which was the Solo movie. They're already predicting that they can't even make as much money as Solo made, and that was devastating for the company. Like, that was the worst thing that they'd ever done. And now they're saying that they can't even beat that. So Hollywood is fucking like in a corner crying, bro. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to get people back in. I think it's quite simple. You need to reduce the price of everything by a lot. Budgets, the cost of cinema tickets, the cost of food when you're there, everything. The cinemas become so expensive. Try
Mm,
like, again, for you, maybe not as much. I don't know. You might not
no,
be feeling the pinch as much as others, but if you have a
it's
family
not
of
that.
four and you try to bring your family to go see a film, it's
I
nearly
get that.
$150, bro. Like,
No.
that's a lot for families. Like,
I totally get you on that, man. Like I totally understand like that you want like things reduced, but you don't blame the theaters. You need to blame the tickets. Don't blame
I
dude,
blame
like
I blame
it's
everything.
you
I blame it
can't
all.
because dude, inflation. I don't give a shit. Like I like $10 for a big ass bucket of popcorn, fine by me, dude. I went to the ball game. I got a big ass bag of popcorn and the stuff's like $10, but it lasted me like for a long time. It's not nothing. Like that's a large quantity, man. You're paying a lot for a lot. And like I think it's weird that people think that it's like it's too much. Like it's just inflation, man. Like things start costing more. Cost of living increases. Like all these different factors that are coming in, and so people need to make their wages. They need to make the money for it. You can't blame the people that are working in the theaters for this shit. You have to blame the people that are making the movies. And so like it's not like I'm 100% against anything to bring down the cost of theater stuff, because that's how a theater dies, is it because they don't make enough money. And so I don't know how much the cost of a ticket is, like in terms of like the price splitting between the theater itself and like the people that make the movie,
Do
but
you want to know
like
what the
it's
do you want to know what the margin is on popcorn and soda in on the big screen, like in
it's
the
like
cinema?
30. It's like $30.
What do you know what the percentage of margin is? Like how much money they make on the popcorn?
No,
85%.
which is great.
It's not for us. It's great
I,
for
I,
them. It's
but
fantastic for
yeah,
them.
because you need people that want to work. Like, do you like if you were so if you're so against it, then you're essentially trying to say that like the people that work there should not exist and everything should just be automated. And so then we should just get vendors, and that would reduce the cost greatly, but they would still
Mm.
keep the prices the same. Like we can't really get rid of that. Like people need to work, people need to live. Like that's like I think it's wrong to tackle the theater. I think it's more important to tackle the people selling the tickets. I'd rather go like if they could reduce the ticket prices by like I don't know 20-30%. I think that would be fantastic. More people would probably go, and then less people would bitch and complain about the cost of popcorn. And plus, anyway, you could bring your own candy, you could bring your own food if you wanted to. Like you could literally hide that stuff. But like the people that work there don't give a shit. Like they just want to work, they just want to make their wage, and they want you to like have a good time. And I think it's really messed up to like that's like going to McDonald's and then getting upset that like a quarter pounder, a double quarter pounder with cheese is like $10. And then it's like, well, they've complained enough. Okay, let's get rid of the people that work there. And then that way we can reduce the cost. We'll just go with machines. But oh no, the machines cost a lot more to maintain. And so like, oh, okay, well, let's just get rid of the people that work there and then just keep the cost the same. It's never going to be in our favor. Like
No.
it's better to just keep the prices high so that the people that work there can get their wages.
Um, yeah, like when your profit margin is 85%, I think that's where you should start with your cuts. 85% is a bit ridiculous. Like they could make like if you buy in a box of popcorn for $1 and you sell it for $8, you're making like so much money. Like you could sell it for 6, and then that makes everybody so much happier. You're still making tons of fucking profit. Do you know what I mean? Like it's I don't know, man. I don't agree with you at all. Like I think everything has to come down if you want to get asses back in the seats. Like obviously they can continue going on the way they're going now. They can barely scrape even. They can barely fucking keep the places open, or you can reduce the prices to get everybody back in. Like it is what it is. Like and like I don't know if they do it over there, but they do all these memberships over here where they try and get you in like, oh, 15.99 a month and you can go and see as many movies as you want. And then they're just praying that you're going to come once, twice, 3 times a week and just keep buying their food. It's the same with the gas stations over here. Like there's like basically zero money to be made in selling fuel. So they all like all the petrol stations over here are just like they have like delis and they're selling like sandwiches and they're like trying to sell coffees and a cup of coffee to them costs them 30 cents to make it. They sell it for fucking €5. It's like it's fucking corporate greed, like, like that's what it is, but that's what they need to survive. Like that's where it is. Like doubling your money on a box of popcorn should be more than enough to satisfy the people. Like not getting like fucking like 85% like margin up on the price. Like it's fucking wild, man. I think it's insane. Like I really do. Like, and I think that's where they need to start. Like, I think the price of the tickets, like, of course, I think that needs to come down as well. But I don't know. Like, they're obviously not selling as many seats, which is why the tickets are so expensive. If they bring the cost down, you're going to double and triple the amount of people that are going. Like, if let's say the tickets are €20, if you drop them to 10, you're probably going to get 4 times the amount of people actually go to the film. So you're going to end up making more money anyway. Theater's going to be thriving. You're going to be selling out every fucking screen. Everyone's going to be vibing. Staff are going to be expensive. You're going to need to hire more people because there's going to be more people coming in buying popcorn and nachos and sodas off you, and they need to just make more money. So if they drop the ticket price, they'll actually get twice as many or 3 times as many asses and seats. Like, you know, I just think there's so many people. Like, again, I'm a cinema lover, man. I will go to the cinema till the day I die, no matter how much it costs. It's unfortunate because I don't get to go as much as I would like to go, but I will still go. Like, Doomsday comes out, I'm going to be there day one. Spider-Man 4 comes out, I'm there day one. Like, I'm pre-ordering my tickets. I'm going to go see the Star Wars movie. I think it's going to be fairly shit, but I'm still going to go. I have to see a Star Wars movie on the big screen. I've seen them every single Star Wars movie since 1999 on the big screen. Like, I'm not going to stop now. But so many people are not like me and you. Like they're just like, fuck this. I hate Hollywood. I don't like what they're doing. Every time Netflix goes up, I'd say they get millions of people unsubscribing, like because people are just fed up every time the price goes up, you know? So I just think they need to cut their losses, like, and they need to kind of bring the price down. And I guarantee if they brought the price down, chopping it in half is a bit extreme, of course. But if it went down for like an IMAX seat for us, like is nearly like €50 for two seats now. If they brought that back down to what it was a couple of years ago, I guarantee you they'd sell more seats. It like the cinema. It's meant to, as BB says here, it's meant to be a great experience. The cinema is meant to be something that you do after you go out for a nice meal, and you know what I mean. Like it's not meant to be the core kind of fucking expenditure of your date night, you know. Like, and a lot of people, that's what it is now. You know, it's like, do you want to go out for a nice meal or do you want to go to the cinema? Like, you nearly have to pick and choose. Like, it's crazy. Like, I feel sorry for these people that like really love going to the cinema but just can't afford it anymore. You know, and I think that's a more common story than the other side. You know, and it's just it's rough. Like, it's really rough. And I just think that the box offices are showing. Like, you know, when you get a movie that's an absolute box office smash and it just doesn't even like it barely breaks even. Like, you got to ask yourself why. And it's not because the movie's shit, because the movie's fucking phenomenal. But it's everything else. I just think the normal crowds are like, nah, I'll wait for it to go up on Amazon Prime. I'm already paying for that. I'll watch it at home, you know, or I'll download it for illegally when it goes up. When a Blu-ray, if it comes out, I'll just download a 4K copy of it. Like, I'll get it for free. Fuck these guys. I'm not paying them any more money.
I mean, you're still
Like,
paying them. It's just in a different format.
you exactly. You do pay them one way or the other. Like, you know, my streaming bills every month and along with my internet is probably like $200 a month I'm giving these fuckers, like, you know, so they're getting their money either way out of me. Like, but it's just
Well,
unfortunate because again, like I just love the I love the vibe of going to the cinema. I just love it. Like, and I just wish it was a little more cost effective, especially when, you know, my daughter's getting older now and there's movies like that I'm going to want to bring both of my kids to see. And like, you know, a family day out for me now, like, Jesus Christ, man, like could be almost hitting like $250. Like that's insanity. That's insanity. Like that's a hotel like down the country for a night where you could, like, you know, go to a different part of the country on a little like staycation and you know, pay for your accommodation and get breakfast in the morning, or you could go see a film for 2 hours. Like, where are we? What are we at? Like, it's fucking mental, man. I really don't get it. It's gone insane. And I think just because they've been able to kind of keep it going, they'll just keep increasing the prices. Every time I go on and try and book stuff online to pre-order tickets, it gets more expensive. You know, it's just crazy. And I understand inflation. I understand all that, but you know, you have to put a ceiling on it. It has to stop at some point. Do you know what I mean? Like, what like, is it going to be soon that it's going to be like $30-$40 per seat to go to like an IMAX show with a recliner? You pay for the privilege of
well,
sitting in a recliner, and you're paying $50 a head. Like,
well, then don't
it's
go to
not.
IMAX. Just go to
No,
a
I
standard
want to
show.
go to. I'm going to go to IMAX because I want to. Yeah,
But
but I
that's
should.
that's
I
it's
shouldn't
the
be paying
cost.
twice the price that I was paying
But it's
when
the
they
cost of
built.
maintaining the IMAX theater.
I don't think so. I don't think they put
It's
that much money into it.
absolutely
No,
it's
I don't think so.
it's energy maintenance costs and paying the employees.
No, I don't think so. I
Dude,
don't think it just. I don't
it's
think it
100%.
justifies.
Like so like it's 65% of the revenue. Like if you were to go on AMC, 65% of the revenue is based on ticket prices, and 35% is based on the concessions. So if you were to reduce a ticket price, you would actually cause them to increase the price of concessions.
Yeah.
They have to reach their 100% in some way or another. So if you want them to lose money, you're telling them that they need to stop selling tickets at the price that they have,
What
and
would you
then
prefer?
like
Would you prefer to sell 50 tickets at full price or sell 300 tickets at half price? Think about it.
like that is
Like, there's
what
theaters every minute of the day. There's theaters that are empty, showing films to nobody, showing
right.
movies to 10 people. You know, there's a theater somewhere right now in your city, probably, and there's a showing of whatever movie's out right now, and there's four people sitting in it because no one goes anymore. So would you prefer to have
That sounds like a good day to me. I'd rather
it
sit there
sounds
in
good
that
to
empty
you.
room.
It's terrible to AMC, but it sounds great to you. But would you prefer to have four people sitting there or 40 people sitting there if you cut the price in half? Like, realistically, you
Four.
want as many people.
You're
You, yeah, fine.
you're
I'm
talking to
talking.
someone who
I know.
doesn't
I
want to sit
know.
next to people.
Yeah, let's talk to the guy who owns the AMC studio and ask him the same question. Like, he's gonna want more people, more asses in seats, because even if people are sneaking food in, they might buy a drink, they might buy like a popcorn bucket or some shit like that. But
Yeah.
even just selling those seats, like having those seats empty in a movie playing, is just pissing money away for no reason.
You
So
understand
they
as well
gotta
that
play them.
people are also buying multiple seats so that they don't have to sit next to people, right?
Yeah, not as much though. Like, that's not the norm. That is not the norm. That's
Oh,
something
I beg to differ, man. The what like
that's
when I
niche,
was sitting
bro.
in
That's
AMC,
niche, bro.
there were a lot
That's
of
niche.
sections where it was like three people here, one empty seat, two people here, one empty seat, four people
That
here, one empty seat. Like it's becoming the norm because nobody wants to sit next to people anymore.
it is a niche though. Like, you're the second person to tell me in real life that they do that. Um like, I know a fella who I used to, like, his older brother used to do it as well. He would buy this two seats beside him so no one would sit beside him. He puts his coat on one and his popcorn on the other. Like, it's rare. And especially with how expensive the seats are getting. If you can buy yourself a row of seats and just sit there by yourself, that is a fucking flex in my opinion. Like, that's yeah, that's a flex. But it's not normal, man. It's not. I think it's hilarious that you do it. I think it's cool, but it's not normal
So
behavior, bro.
it's normal behavior when you really drill down into it. It's normal behavior because when you're trying to pick seats, are you literally saying that you're going to pick seats right next to the guy that's like you're looking at the screen right now. You see all the squares. You see two X's where you usually sit, right? Are you
Mhm.
going to take seats next to where you usually sit?
I'll always aim to go for the middle, like the
Okay,
smack down middle of the screen. If
right.
those seats are used, so usually for me it's like row D, 11 and 12. I know the exact seats that I take. And
Hmm.
if D's taken, I'll try E, and if E's taken, I'll
Right.
try C. But if they're
Okay.
not missing, I will go D 8 and 9, because I want to
Okay.
be as close to the center as possible. I don't care if I sit beside somebody. The seats are so big in that screen that you
Right.
have room to yourself.
So, but you were still on the cusp of I will take seats behind the rows because that's where my favorite seating is.
Mhm.
So if those seats
That's
aren't
just to be
taken,
dead. That's just to be dead center, though.
right.
I
But
don't
like you
care if
were
someone's
willing,
sitting to my left or right. Like, I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
okay. So like, but you're reaching this like if all else fails kind of situation.
Mhm.
So like you still have a fail safe in the sense like you're still looking for ways around to get to where you want to be, right?
No, no,
Everybody has their niche seating.
I'd still book D11 and 12 if there was someone sitting in D13 and 14 and someone sitting in 8 and 9. I would still book 10 or 11 and 12 or 9 and 10. If
Mhm.
everything around the seats that I wanted were booked, I wouldn't book on the other side to be alone. I'd book the seats I want. I'd be like, this is a godsend. I have the seats that I want. I don't give a shit if there's someone sitting behind me, in front of me, like everywhere, Does not bother me. I just want the dead center seats because they're the best seats in the house. And I don't give a shit if there's someone sitting beside me or not.
Well, that's good, man. It's good that you forego your comfort to make yourself even more comfortable. Like it's this
It doesn't
that's
bother me whatsoever.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like you're foregoing the usual comfort to be comfortable. You understand what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah,
don't care you don't care if you lose those seats. You just want to be in the area where you would be happiest.
yeah.
So like
Sorry, did you
like I'm
saying
not
I wouldn't go with a crappy side angle seat? I wouldn't either. Like, I never sit in the front row. I wouldn't sit at the very edge either. I have to go somewhere in the middle, but that's just for my viewing. I don't care if I have like people sitting right and left of me or front and back, because again, the seats are so big that like you can recline out and you've got our elbow room and everything. So it's. I understand where you're coming from.
right.
Like, back in the old days where you would like sit in your little fold out seat and you'd nearly be like kind of crushed in, and you don't barely have room to put your drink in the holder because someone's got their elbow on the seat as well. That is annoying for sure. But I was never the type. Maybe I was poor enough growing up. Like, I never had the money to be buying seats all around me to be able to afford to kind of say, you know what, actually, no one's sitting beside me. Fuck you all. But it is what it is. Like, I just never had that kind of cash to fuck around with. But I know people that have, and they do. So it's not uncommon, but it's definitely a niche thing, man. 100%.
Right. Well, and then you also have to consider that you're paying for recliner seats, right? So then the
Oh yeah,
cost of the theater increases based upon the luxury that you get from it. So it's
yeah.
not so much that you're saying like, oh, I can't afford multiple seats. It's more so like, oh, I have to afford these recliner seats now.
Yeah, but again, I wouldn't
And it
buy like multiple recliner seats, and I wouldn't like the recliner seats when they first like built them, which I would have argued was the most expensive time for when those screens are made is when they're first built. Like that's when they need the most money out of them to make the money back. But like those screens have been there and the seats have been there for so many years that they've made the money back from building that screen tenfold. And the price just keeps going up and up and up and up. Like it was like I think it was like €12 when they first launched it, and now they're like €26 a seat. Like it's
because
insane.
they have to maintain the seating.
But they
Because
don't.
now
Like
that
they're not replacing the
they've
leather. They're like they send a crew in to clean the place, but they're not
yes,
like they're
that
not.
that maintenance costs money.
Yeah, it's minimum wage for a couple
It's
of
not
employees
minimum
to.
wage.
It is over here,
It
brother.
costs,
It is
it costs
over here.
more. It costs
No,
much. It doesn't
it's
matter if
minimum
it's
wage
over
where
there.
it's here.
It doesn't matter if it's over there or not. Like it's going to cost much more as time goes on because services are more in demand. Like it's literally just like I'm going to keep going back to it. It's literally just the inflation of costs, the inflation of like cost of living, all this kind of shit that goes on. Like you can't just assume that a company that's like, oh, we'll charge you 500 to do this one theater room. You really think that they're going to continue charging you like 500 for like 15 years unless you had gone into a contract with them? And even then, after that contract is over, they're going to renegotiate and be like, well, we have new product, we have new things going on, we have more employees that are willing to work the theater room. They're able to get things done at a much quicker time and make it much more efficient. But we have cost for all the things that we need to utilize that kind of stuff. So we're gonna upgrade. We're gonna upgrade the contract now. It's gonna go up to about $750 a month just to maintain this area. And like maybe you can look elsewhere, but how often are people actually going to look elsewhere when they know that they have someone that they can rely on, especially if they're good for their word. So like costs for maintenance, costs for energy, costs for like all these different things, like it takes a factor into it. And that's why I say like it's really really difficult for me to agree on the fact that on the idea that we can reduce the cost of tickets or cost of concessions. Like it just doesn't, it's just unfathomable to me. Now I would say if like for I would say at the least, let's say we can get into the nitty gritty of it and say like, okay, well, how about popcorn? Okay, well, what's the price of a kernel, like a standard kernel? It's like, okay, well, it's like, I don't know, $15 a bag or something like that. If there was a surplus and they were able to get the cost down and they weren't reducing the cost, then I would be on your side and be like, oh, you guys are fucking assholes. You're just taking that surplus and you're making a profit off of it, and you're not even giving us a chance to reap off of that.
Yeah,
But
that's most likely happening. And I would say the most expensive part of your popcorn is the bucket it comes in or the bag it comes in. It's not actually the popcorn itself.
which is weird, right? Like
Yeah, it's the same.
it's
It's
the
the same with
material
coffee.
used to
It's the same
house
with
the
coffee.
fucking thing.
Yeah, it's the same with coffee. The most expensive part of a coffee is the cup. The most expensive part of a pizza is the box. Like it's ridiculous. Like
It's so
that's
stupid.
that's the way it goes, man. It's crazy. It's insane. Like that's the point I'm making. Like it's like
Yeah.
there's nowhere on earth that it's going to cost $10 for a bag of popcorn. You could give me a garbage bag full of popcorn. It's not going to cost $10 to make. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the truth of it. Like, it is all
Yeah,
just fucking
I could see
greed, man.
that. I could
Yeah,
absolutely see that too. But I really do. I really also think that they drive it based on like convenience. It's like, oh, are you gonna go and make your own fucking popcorn with your own flavacol, with your own like setup? You want to make it taste just like the popcorn that
yeah,
we have here? Good luck, assholes. Like, oh, also you can't bring it in here.
yeah. No, and
Like,
I think the problem is that it is just it's going up and up and up, and people, especially over here, I can't speak for over there. I've never been to the theater over there, but um, over here, like people are sneaking stuff in. They're bringing like backpacks with full of fucking stuff, and I see people
oh,
coming
dude,
in with like
somebody brought like a whole fucking
McDonald's.
chicken.
Yeah, I've seen people come in with hot food and sit down and eat it. Like I saw a guy eat a Burger King and beside us one time, and it smelled amazing. I was like, oh, I'd love some now. you
It's
know,
so good.
yeah, like and people come in with like Domino's pizzas and stuff and like sit there and eat them and stuff. So look, I think they're the end of the discussion. Like I really just think that they're they're really driving people away, and I think that's what the problem is. Like
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I
I
there's
can agree with you on that.
it's corporate greed, man. It really is. Like at the end of the day, if they could make a bag of popcorn or a bucket of popcorn for $1 and sell it for 6, like that is just insane profits, and that's going to pay everything. But they'll choose to sell it for 10 because they can. You know what I mean? Like, and it will take people to just stop coming, theaters to start closing, and then they'll be like, okay, look, we need to bring this back. That's
Well, and
that's
then
what's
at
going to
that point,
happen.
it'll be too late,
I
which
think
would
so.
suck.
It is, and I think that's unfortunately, I think that's the way it's going.
Yeah,
It's awful to think it, but that is the
yeah.
way it's going. And I think the only way that they do resolve the issue is to dramatically drop the prices, guys. And like they would have to announce it as well, because most people are so far gone that they don't even think about the cinema anymore. So like if you dropped the prices tomorrow and didn't tell anybody, most people wouldn't even fucking know. So they
Hmm.
would need to shout it from the rooftops to say, guys, we've literally dropped the price of concessions by 40%. Please come back. Please, the ticket
Hmm.
prices are cheaper. Please come back. Like the theaters over here, they do like Monday deals where like you'll get your ticket to the movie and your food for like $10. And like again, it's just to try and get people in on Mondays because the places are empty otherwise, and they have to pay
Right.
staff obviously to be there. And even if again a movie starts at 8 o'clock and ends at 10, but there was only 4 people sitting watching it, they still have to send a crew in to go and clean the place and so on. It's just a waste. It's just such a waste. And it's just prime time where they could be filling those seats if they had the ticket prices set to a fiver. And even if people didn't even bring their food in, at least the film's got to play one way or the other. They may as well make some money than make it nothing. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it's like, they just don't see it that way. I don't get it. I really
Well,
don't.
and again, like that kind of circles all the way back to we like they should be okay with taking a loss once in a while.
Oh, they're not okay with it, but
Like,
they're being forced to
well, like
almost every fucking movie.
how
Like
would you
that,
feel? How would you feel if every other month was like, hey, we're cutting prices down by about 20%. Like you come to the
great.
theater, we're like, well, ticket prices are down 20%, popcorn, soda prices are down 25%, 30% off of like candy or something like stuff like that. Like, well, hey, we're doing like a quick sale of it, and they do it for like, I don't know, a good week or two. Because I don't know if you could do a whole month. I don't know if it's that if you could get that crazy, but like at least bringing in the people that like can handle a discount rather than like a full on cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what they do over here is they'll give out like a membership where like you can pay for unlimited, they call it, or limitless or whatever. And
Hmm.
a lot of the places will do a thing like if you have a limitless card, you can go to as many standard screens as you want in a year. It's like do
Hmm.
what you want. Or if you want to go to like IMAX or something like that, you pay maybe like an extra $5 or something like that. So they charge you for the seat and so on and the extra experience, sometimes 3D glasses, whatever. But
Hmm.
a lot of the places, what they'll do as well is they'll give you like maybe 10 or 15% off food as well if you show that membership card. So again, like that's a lot of people probably would get the membership card, so they're able to knock 15% off as if it's nothing. So,
Hmm.
but then again, I suppose they're guaranteed that $15 a month or whatever off every one of their members. And the reason why I don't do it is because there's times in the year where I wouldn't go to the cinema for 6 or 8 weeks. Um, I'm not very close to a cinema, so for me, it's I have to plan to go there. I can't just kind of like be like, I'm kind of bored now. I might just go and see what's on. I'm
Hmm.
gone are those days. Like I'm kind of got a family, all that sort of stuff. So I can't really just pick up and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go cinema. See you later. So
Hmm.
for me, it doesn't really work. Whereas I know a lot of single people who have nothing to do after work some days, and they have a they have a membership and they just like they pass the theater on the way home. They just walk in, what's on today? Oh, I'll watch this before I go home. So for people like that, it's great. And again, if you're going to be there once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, you might buy a thing of popcorn and a drink twice a week. Like that, they're making money hand over fist. So the discounts are there over here anyway. Like they're available, and they could easily do more and still make so much fucking money. I just think they need to dramatically drop the prices to get the standard audience back. You know, obviously they're going to do like the big events like Doomsday. I think Doomsday will make. I think Doomsday will crack 1 billion worldwide in the first weekend. Like I really do. I think it's going to be one of the biggest fucking cinematic experiences ever. But I don't know what. Like I think Spider Man will do well, but maybe not that. Like I think it'll take a little bit to make the money as well. Like you like and you look at Project Hail Mary, like that movie is in the top 20 of all time for best sales for IMAX screens. And like it's barely done 650. Like, so that'll tell you like the revenue is just not there anymore. It's not what it used to be. So, it's a scary time, like, and I just think they really need to do something to try and bring that core audience back because it's not working. It's really not working. Um, that was like, yeah, that was a crazy rant, and I apologize to people listening to it. It went on for a very long time. Quickly before we finish up, let's talk about The Boys because I know there's only 2 episodes left. Sorry, there's only one now. It's the finale next week. What are you thinking of the season so far? Like, are you liking it? Are you like, yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you think first, and I'll kind of let you know what I'm thinking.
I think this most recent episode was fantastic. I think it
Yeah.
was exactly what we needed. And unfortunately, it also feels like it's not enough. It really feels like they're going to rush the last episode. And I think that's why was it who's the creator again? Is it Eric Kripke or Robert Kirkman?
Kripke.
That's what I think that's partially why he's saying that people aren't going to like this
too.
because it's going to be rushed. Like it
Man.
feels like we're about to rush into everybody dies or something.
Like I like what's weird about the show, right? And I wish I could do this myself, but I like what I'm seeing. I just don't like the order I'm seeing it in, if that makes sense. Like, I
Mhm.
think, the Frenchie scene, I thought that was fucking great, right? And I thought, Homelander kind of sneaking around and he like does a super speed up to catch Frenchie and stuff. I'd like, oh, like give me more of this. Like, this is fucking cool, But
Yeah.
we spend so much of the episode kind of telling story and stuff, which I know is all great. I'm not giving out about it, but I just feel like all that all those pieces maybe should have happened a little earlier in the season or maybe last season. And we're in the last couple of episodes, the last couple of hours of the show. It's over forever. Let's get action packed. Let's see some fucking, let's end some arcs. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're only kind of like hearing about stories, like, and you hear Frenchie and Kimiko talking about like moving to France and all this stuff, and like the second you hear that, you're like, okay, one of them's dying. Like, you don't know which one it is, but one of them's gone. The second you hear these things happen,
Well,
and it's
they
just,
were talking about it for a while
I
too. So
know, I know,
like it was just kind of creating this like, oh, you never know kind of situation. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. Like this being like the penultimate episode.
It's like the pacing of the episode again, like I just feel like again everything that I'm seeing is good, but I just hate the order that I'm seeing it in. Like the whole thing with Soldier Boy saying that he's leaving again, like, and like again, great scene. You kind of see Homelander break down. That was good. I like that. Leave that in. That's perfect. He freezes him
Mhm.
again. Cool. Whatever. Again, this might have made a bit more sense happening in episode 5 rather than episode 7. The whole thing with like the whole like uh all the scenes with like the church stuff, I think should have all maybe happened together in 1 or 2 episodes at the start of the season. And the fact that we're seeing him sitting in the Oval Office in the second last episode of the show, it just feels like a lot of it's happening way too late to let the
Mhm.
audience to let it sink in. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we saw him sitting in the office and killing the president and everything, that all happens, and like what? There's an hour left in the show forever. Like it's kind of, I feel like that should have happened maybe a couple of more episodes ago, and then let that sink in, and Jesus Christ, like Homelander's killed the president, and now he's the president, and he's put Ashley in charge, and all this sort of stuff. Like, and I don't know, I just feel like the more I'm watching of this, really feel like the way that this is going to end, I really feel like Homelander's going to win, and he's just going to be like hovering over the planet, going like as the emperor of the planet, and that's good. It's going
Mhm.
to fade to black, and I think that's going to be it. Like, and I just think there's going to be so many unanswered questions, and like I
Yep.
just feel and like if that's the way they're going to go with it, like I would prefer if they stretch it out and kill all the boys, give them all an episode to like die and have a great like closing arc. But I feel like there's not a lot really, like there's a lot happening, but not a lot happening at the same time, and it's just
Right.
it just feels kind of all over the place. Like the supernatural episode. Um, Again, like me personally, I waited a long time for that. Like we heard about that like 18 months ago that the guys were being cast, and you know obviously, do you remember I said to you there was a rumor going around ages ago that they were going to be playing Sam and Dean and stuff like that in the
Hmm.
show. I mean, I think I mentioned this to you. They released a deleted scene, or like a kind of alternate scene that they shot, and obviously that's what people probably saw, and it was them pretending to be Sam, Dean, and Cass as the characters, like shooting that scene where, where Homelander gets knocked out and all, but like they're playing Sam and Dean and all. It was funny, it was cool, but like obviously I'd say somebody probably saw that and leaked it online, saying like, "Oh my god, they're playing Sam and Dean. What the hell's going on here?"
Hmm.
But like half of that episode, and I know the episode was called One Shots, but half of that episode was like fluffy shit that like we didn't really need to see when there was only like 4 episodes of the show left. Like following the dog around, it was funny for 5 seconds. He's humping the fucking Homelander doll. Following him around for like 15 minutes of that episode was just overkill to the highest degree. Like it was ridiculous. Like I just
Hmm.
spent the whole time going, "Oh my god!" Like it was funny. Yeah, it's great. We're in the dog's perspective. Let's just move on. Like it's done. The joke's over. Like let's move on. And I just feel like there's like a lot of like, again, bringing the Gen V cast in was pretty cool. Probably didn't need to see them twice. We saw them once, whatever. The show's been cancelled. Like, why are you even putting that scene in? Like, give us something else. Like, like we know now that
Hmm.
they were working for Starlight, and Starlight's basically said, "Look, you're done. Fuck off. You're finished. Go and hide. It's Homelander's coming and he's invincible now. Like, it's just,
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I just feel like there's a lot of time wasting. Like I'm kind of watching the clock and I'm like, fuck, there's not that long left. And like I don't want the show to end, but it is ending. And it's over in an hour now, and it's like I'm like, what are we doing here? It just it's I think if I go back maybe and rewatch it as a bulk thing, like it might make a bit more sense. It might flow a little better. But
Hmm.
I'm finding it really hard to enjoy a lot of what I'm seeing when I know there's so little left. And we're sitting watching some of the stuff with like, all the religious stuff. Again, I think it's all important, but do it earlier in the show. Like we're watching like them do focus groups to see if the public accept Homelander as their new god. Like, why was that not in episode 2? Like why are we watching that in episode 7 when there's only like
Oh,
fucking an hour left?
yeah, because like, well, he'd already like the idea was like the introduction of the god, and I think at like in episode 2, Homelander isn't exactly in that mindset that he's now the Messiah, or like he's the new god essentially.
Mhm.
He's still kind of like brooding, or just trying to like make things work, or just trying to be revered by the humans in that sense. And it just he hadn't snapped yet. We didn't really see him snap until what, episode 5 or 6?
Well, when he had the vision, I thought that was pretty early on when he had the
Was it the
vision. Like
Vision? No, no,
he
that
had
was
the
like
vision
episode.
of you're one with the big milkers, like, and then he was like, "Oh my god, I'm a message from God. I'm the next Jesus and stuff." I'm pretty sure that was like episode 2 or something. Like, I think like they should have maybe sped up part of the story and tried to tell it a bit sooner, rather than kind of sprinkling it across all the last episodes and giving it to us in drips and drabs. It should have just been the main focus of one of the episodes, and then that be it. Like I just feel like I feel like they're spreading out like 5 different story arcs when they should maybe just there's 8 episodes, focus 2 episodes on the religious thing, focus 2 episodes on the immortality thing, the whatever it's called, the V1 or whatever the fuck it's called. I can't remember the name of it.
Mhm.
And like I just feel like they need to like pick and choose what they're doing and close it off. Like they're just kind of sprinkling all the different arcs, and like it's going to come to the last episode, man, and it's going to be such a rush to get it over the line. And I think I would not be surprised if a few of these arcs that we've been following for years don't even get answered. It just ends. I just wouldn't be surprised if they just didn't know how to end it properly. Dan's
Mm.
asking to rate the seasons. Um, like as in like which one do I like the most? Like, am I putting them in like a top 5? Is that what you're asking, or do you want an out of 10 out like for each season?
I
I
think
don't. I
he,
don't.
I think he just maybe
You
just
like
like from best
like
to
a
worst or something.
best to worst, yeah. Um, yeah. I think I've only really watched a lot of it once, so it's kind of hard to remember. I do remember really liking season 1 because I just thought it was such a new take to the whole superhero genre thing, and it came out in like what 2016 or something. Was it
Hmm.
2016? I think the first season came out. And it was so refreshing to see like a Superman character like in the middle of like the MCU and DCU, and they're all like where they're at their prime, and then we see this dude come out who's like pretended to be a hero, and it's like what the world would be like in real life with heroes and corrupt governments and stuff. I just thought this is fucking brilliant. I was like obsessed with it from the start, and
Hmm.
I think the show started at its peak. Honestly, in my opinion, I think season one was my favorite, and then it just slowly started to kind of not get like bad, but just get a little worse. I think it's just slowly gone down. I think the first season that like Soldier Boy came into it was maybe a bit of a better season than the previous one, if I remember correctly. But for the most part, I think it's been on a kind of steady downward trajectory, slightly. Not saying that I've hated any of the episodes, but I think it started better and got worse as it went on. What would you agree with that, or?
No, I would say it's actually been getting better over time.
Oh, okay.
I just think that, people are expecting it to go haywire like insanely quickly, and um I get it. Like by the time you're at the end of things, like everything should just be utter chaos, but there's still regular people at the end of the day. So I mean, there's really not much you can do. Like I don't know how much more you can do like with regular people and soups. Like if they were all superpowered, I would think that this would like fly off even faster, and it would be much more chaotic, and it would be much more, I would say it would be much more fun. Like it would like pull up tenfold. But it's not terrible, and I don't think that it's going down. Um I just think that people don't like the idea of this like what's the term, almost like pessimism or cynicism, like, oh, like it's coming down, like everything's going to start crashing, and no matter what we do, no matter how much we try, it's going to come all down to nothing. And that's kind of where Huey sits, but it's very small talk compared to like what you see with Butcher, what you see with what you see with like Starlight. They're all still trying, and so it's like creating this gleaming hope near the end of it. And even with like Frenchie and Kimiko, like it's this gleaming hope that they still have. And I don't think that the show really needed like this gleaming hope. I think it needed like either like a super hard downhill we're going down, or we're all soups now and we're all gonna fuck each other up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that like they were trying to obviously do that with like Butcher and stuff, like to obviously give him power so he could be more relevant in fights and actually be a bit of a threat. But
Well, and
like
I, I
now I think the only way that Homelander loses is if they wake up fucking Soldier Boy again, or if the experiment actually worked on Kimiko and she actually has the nuclear powers that Soldier Boy had, and she's able to wipe away the V1 or whatever it's called out of him to
mhm.
make him killable again. But I really kind of predict that the show is just going to end with the Homelander on top, and I think that's why people are going to hate it.
Yeah, maybe the with the direction that they were going in the comics, like maybe the focus group just didn't like it, and they
Yeah.
were like, you know what, let's try to change it up. But again, like it there's only so much you can do to change the source material before it's like, oh, it's like completely different now, or it's like an
Well, I think
alternate ending in the sense.
yeah, like it feels that way, right? Like because I haven't read the comics, but like I've seen a lot of spoilers from the comics. Like I know in the comic books, again, this is obviously no spoilers for the show, but in the comics, Black Noir is actually a clone of Homelander, and
Hmm.
like he's the true evil man behind the scenes in a lot of the stories. And like he even kind of frames Homelander in certain circumstances, like he does a lot of the evil shit, and people think it's Homelander, but it's actually not. It's actually Noir out of costume. And then
Right.
Noir is actually the one who kills Homelander in the end. And you're kind of like, well, that can't happen now because they've killed two Noirs on the show,
Right.
so that's not going to happen. So the only way I really see it ending is either one of two ways. Kimiko can do it, or they wake up Soldier Boy and he does it. Soldier Boy, I would say if he wakes up one more time, is going to be fuming that he was put on ice again. and he kind of takes the power away from Homelander and just like, this kid's got to be stopped. He's fucking trying to take over the entire planet. Like that's
Yeah.
one way I see it ending. The other way I see
Well,
it ending is Homelander actually winning and them doing nothing. Maybe what I would like to see for MM, because I like MM and I feel like he's going nowhere right now. He's kind of said, like we can't kill Soldier Boy. He can never get his revenge for his family dying, And I think the only way that I think he could potentially get a redemption now is if he was to maybe find Soldier Boy on ice and maybe dump him in a lake or something like that, like and then just leave him kind of underwater, frozen forever. Like I think that's the only way you get rid of. So like, you take someone like him off the board altogether. But other than that, yeah, I really don't know. I don't know. I think one of those two things has got to happen if they're going to kill Homelander. But I really think Homelander's going to end on top. I think that's what's going to
right.
happen. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I think another way to kind of like redeem oneself, like as MM, is to also just go like, you know what? I'll do the next best thing. I will get him to kill his own son.
Yeah, yeah. But they have to again. They would have to get to a point where they get into the Seven Tower, get into Homelander's room, see that he's on ice again, and be like, "Oh shit, we can release him," and hope that he'll be on our side, which is
Right.
a big which is a big gamble, because there's been multiple times, even just this season, where Soldier Boy has had the opportunity to kill Homelander and he's chose not to because he's a son.
Hmm.
So he's demonstrated love towards Homelander twice, at least twice this season so far, and pretty much backstabbed twice. And he's been frozen what 3 times in the show now. So like I think what's it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like I think he's getting to number 4 now. So I would hope that if he wakes up again, he would do what needs to be done. But I really don't see that happening. I really don't
Hmm.
see it happening. Yeah. I completely forgot as well. Homelander's son. What's his name again?
Oh, Ryan,
Yeah. What's he up to?
he got beat to shit
Yeah,
and
he's
he's in the
he's a
hospital.
superhero. He's a superhero though. He'd heal up like pretty quick.
We don't know that.
He's as powerful or not more powerful than Homelander, right?
He he's a natural born soup. We
Yeah,
don't
he
know
should
how
be
that
the.
works out.
But like, do you remember, right? Because again, this was going back to like season 2. Do you remember like Homelander when he was like with Stormfront and stuff like that, and they were doing all the weird kinky shit, and she's like, shoot me with your lasers and the tits and all, and he's like shooting her with the lasers, and it's like not really doing anything to her. And then at the end of that season, Ryan like takes limbs off her, so like his laser vision should be stronger than Homelander's, right? If he's able to take limbs off, and like Homelander's not, he's only able to like not even really do much damage to her at all. That would tell me that Ryan should be more powerful than Homelander. And now coming out of the hospital, and again, this is part of the reason why I'm kind of pissed off with the pacing of the show, because it's like they they kind of were building Ryan up to have that kind of natural arc where he goes against the villain, gets his ass kicked, and he's got to pick himself up in the shadows and do some training, and get mad and come back and have the triumphant victory. It's the classic story that they always tell. It's like I completely forgot Ryan existed till just now. I was like, oh my god, yeah, I forgot where he was. Like he's like completely gone. So my initial when I saw him do that to Stormfront in season 2, my initial prediction for the end of the show was that he was going to kill Homelander, and
Hmm.
the son kills the father, Luke killing Vader. It's the classic story. But I really felt like that was where it was going to go. But now it's like if they do that now, it's like Jesus Christ, that came out of nowhere. It's like he's just been gone for most of the season now. It's like again,
I
it's
mean, if
down
you're
to the placement of all these scenes. Just feels really weird.
well, if you're saying that he should recover easily, then why not?
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
should. I think he should.
we're we're seeing the Gen V people, which I think was kind of like a last minute thought, in my opinion. I think that
I th-
they
I feel like those scenes were kind of put in there to be like, look, sorry, we canceled your show. Here's a scene that we shot that maybe was going to be part of Gen V season 2, 3, or whatever, but let's just
Mhm.
pop it in here and give you a bit of a send off because the whole thing's gone. Like, I think they're doing like I saw someone break this down on TikTok and they were saying like the whole middle of the season like really focused on Soldier Boy. Not a complaint on my part. I thought it was great, but people are saying that like it seems like they're really trying to just push the new show that's coming out, like VAT Rising. It's like they're really trying to get you in the headspace of Stormfront and Soldier Boy, and he's talking about the past, and you're always seeing the pictures of him from the past and all the shit, and they're really trying to kind of give you a poke and say, remember this, yeah, don't
Mhm.
forget, that's going to be the next show and that's the last show. Like it feels like they're really trying to set that up now. I don't really mind. I think I'm gonna really enjoy that show because I love Jensen Ackles so much. Like, so it's just, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, again, I feel like they're just wasted time in the last season when they should be wrapping up a lot of the arcs that we've been following for 5 years or more
Right.
than 5 years, like 10 years, but like 5 seasons. Um, and it's feeling very, very rushed. Um, BB says I'm gonna have to check out Gen V after all this. Yeah, like I think Gen V is actually quite good. It's not. I don't think it's as good as the boys, but I think it's good. You're following like college kids, and they have a different journey. It's like them trying to become soups, and I thought it was a very clever way that they did it. Like it's all focused on your follower count on Instagram and all this stuff, and like if you can get famous, they'll put you in the seven and stuff. And I thought that's what it would really be like. All these like content creators would be like the people that have the powers, and they're just trying to get popularity and go viral. And then when they get a bit of traction behind them, then the marketing team comes along from VOC going, hey, you've got a bit of traction now. Let's make you a superhero. Like, that's what it would really be like. And I thought it was
It's
clever.
essentially it's essentially like minor league baseball in the major league. Like, you have people
Yeah,
scouting you out.
exactly. Exactly. I really enjoyed that. And some of the subplots of season 2 and stuff were quite cool. Like, and the way it linked into the big show as well. Because like there's some of the bigger characters, like Sage, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't Sage show up first in Gen V? And then she was part of Gen V first and then went into the boys? Or maybe I'm remembering that wrong.
God, I don't recall. I don't know. I don't recall that. But like, I mean, you might like. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't remember.
Again, I've only watched it once, so it's kind of mashing together in my head, but I'm pretty sure that Sage showed up because wasn't she like going out with the she was in season 4 and then Gen V season 2, then season 5. Okay. So yeah, she was in both shows, definitely.
Yeah, because like
I couldn't remember where she first popped up, but
she was interested in Thomas Godolkin.
exactly, exactly. And that was cool. And I like when the shows do proper crossovers like that and it pays off. That shit's
Mhm.
cool. Like, and that's what Marvel should definitely be trying to do. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose we need
No,
to sit down when it's all said and done and see if they landed or not. I kind of feel like they're not going to.
I
I
don't
kind of
think
feel like,
so either.
yeah, I'm
It's
scared, man. I kind of feel like there's going to be a lot of unanswered questions. I bet you we're going to sit here next week or whenever we sit down and talk about it, and we're going to be like, where was Ryan? What happened to Huey? What happened to MM? Where's fucking the deep? Like where's so and so?
oh,
Where's
the
this?
the
Who's
Deep's
that?
getting his nuts ripped off like in the next episode, and I guarantee you,
Oh, he's gonna
like
like
he's
fall in the water and just get eaten by a shark or something. Like,
like
oh, as
Starlight's
well.
gonna
Was that
Starlight's gonna throw him into the middle of the ocean, and he's gonna be fucked.
was that shark Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure
thought
it was.
I thought so
Like
too. I was
either
watching it
that
on
or
my
his
Apple
son.
TV. I was watching it on my Apple TV, and when I paused it, the list didn't come up of the actors, so I couldn't
I,
see.
I tried to
I was
check
like,
too, but I'm
yeah,
like, that's gotta be him.
it has
That's
to be.
gotta be fucking
Has to
him.
be. It was so funny. That was great. I like again, the Deep is like a character you're supposed to hate him. Like he's supposed to be a piece of shit. Like, but I kind of like him. I think I kind of feel sorry for him, and like I feel like he's just been bullied into submission, and if he had it his own way, he probably wouldn't. Yeah, wouldn't be working for like he's there out of fear, and he's always just looking for acceptance, and he says it in this episode like the seven is all he has, and that I truly believe it, but. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like a lot of the characters are pretty pathetic in the show, like, but you feel sorry for them, I think.
Well, and it's funny because like Homelander is the same exact as the Deep in the sense. It's just that Homelander went against the guilt and
Yeah.
was like, no, I'm perfect. What are you
Do you
talking
think
about?
What do you think of this statement here from Connor? Do you think Sam beats Homelander in a 1v1?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would think so. I would think that'd be kind of fun. That and then like I would think it'd be poetic though if like at the end of it all, like he tries not to do anything. Like he tries to just restrain him, and then all of a sudden Homelander just fucking reams him in the stomach or something.
Do you
And
think
like,
when Homelander got the V1, did he become more powerful?
you know what? It doesn't really
I know.
show that he did. It's just
I
more
get the
so that
feeling. I get the feeling he did because like when he first like because it's like when he takes it and then he has that big explosion and the lasers go up into the sky and they look like thicker and stronger than they ever have. So it feels like he's getting more powerful. And then like when he's like popping the fucking president's head and stuff, it was like he didn't even do anything. He was like just gone. And like with the speed as well, like when he shot up on Frenchie, like he feels more powerful, you know. So I wonder, is he actually more powerful, or is that like just the way they're shooting it? They're making him more menacing and stuff.
I mean, with the V1, he definitely regenerates a lot better.
Yeah,
because he was clearly like unfazed by any of that radiation.
Yeah, exactly. That was because that when that went on the first time, like he was like coughing his lungs up, and he like his fucking skin was turning green and everything. Like he looked terrible, like almost instantly. Whereas this one, he's smiling and laughing it off. Like yeah, I think he's more powerful now than he was before.
I don't know how much more powerful though. I mean, to be completely honest, though, Homelander has always been able to like crush people. It's just he was very
it looked effortless, man.
Yeah, well, like he doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, true. Like he's not holding back. He's not trying to put on the facade.
When he laser beams people, he does it like without care because at that point he's pissed off.
Yeah, I'd like to see him like laser like somebody who's like survived it before now and see if it's more powerful. Like I think like, and again, this is again me doubling down on this. Like the questions that we're like this conversation that we're having now here, I don't think we should be not knowing the answers to these questions with only one episode left of the show. Like I think this should have been answered before. I think we should have seen a clear display of his powers after he got the injection, and maybe the injection should have happened maybe 2 episodes earlier, and then we get a bit more time to let him display his powers. We get him to fight someone who he's maybe struggled with before and let him overcome him easier, and then we know, oh shit, he is more powerful, or maybe he's not. He's just can't die now, But give us the answer. Let us know. I feel like I shouldn't be asking those questions with an hour left in the show.
Right. It would have been cool to at least get this like indication. It's like, even if it was like just a standard monologue of like, now that I've taken the V1, I feel like I'm like the most powerful being in the world and I'm omnipotent or something like that. That says like,
it's just that scene where they like does the Cyclops scream and the lasers in the eye and all in the sky. It was just so fucking cool. Like I was actually excited when I saw that because I was like, holy shit! Like he looks like he's going like fucking Super Saiyan, like, you know what I mean? Like it was mental, like it was crazy. And I just feel like, we're just not getting the answers to things like that. Like I feel like we're getting hints to it, but again, there's only an hour left. So like, what the fuck are we doing? Soldier Boy giving him the V1 was so stupid. Again, I feel like he was kind of having those like primal feelings towards his son, like that almost can't be controlled. Like,
well, he said he did it for Clara.
Again, who I think and again that's another thing. Like, give us an answer whether it's like like who she is exactly. Like, I know a lot of people think like it's his mother and so on, and that's kind of just like a fan theory at the moment. Like, again, 1 hour left in the show. Could we please know the answer? Like, is it actually his biological mother or not? Like, because that would be perfect boy's story that he's like fucking his own mother. Like, it would be perfect Kripke telling. Like, like it's just give us the answer. Like, let us know. Like so many people are talking about it, and it's like just answer the fucking question. Maybe they do it in the prequel series, but like it's too late. The show's over, man.
You can't handle the truth.
If we start seeing like the birth of Homelander in the prequel show, and then it's kind of like, oh, it's too late now. It's all over. Like I just feel like they're leaving stuff too late. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it feels like that's just how it's gonna end up being.
Yeah, I think so too. Guys, we're coming close to 2 hours, so I'm gonna end it for the week. I really appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Thank you so much to anyone who was here live. If you're watching us on a replay as well, let us know below what you think. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple or any of those podcasting apps, let us know what you think. There's a comment section there as well. Leave us a review, all that beautiful stuff. Yeah, we'll see you soon. We should be back next week or the week after. We got the finale of this to talk about, and then I think the Spider-Man Noir show with Nick Cage is starting at the end of the month as well. So yeah, nerds are eating good. We are eating good, guys. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Really, really appreciate everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.